A suspect in the January 6 pipe bomb incident is arrested. Pete Hegseth is partly vindicated in Congress, and the doctor who gave Matthew Perry ketamine is sentenced to 30 months behind bars. I'm Daily Wire Executive Editor John Bickley. It's Thursday, December 4th. This is Evening Wire. A suspect tied to the planting of pipe bombs outside of the Republican and Democrat Party headquarters the night before January 6 has been arrested by the FBI. Daily Wire reporter Tim Pierce has a story.
The arrest of Brian Cole Jr. comes more than 5 years after the incident and after the investigation seemed to stall. According to the FBI, while the pipe bombs did not detonate, they could have been deadly. Cole is being charged with the use of an explosive device, and investigators say that he may have had, quote, anarchist leanings. Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel addressed the arrest in a press conference today.
This investigation is ongoing. As we speak, search warrants are being executed, and there could be more charges to come. The FBI, along with U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our prosecutors, have worked tirelessly for months, sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years.
When you attack American citizens, when you attack our institutions of legislation, when you attack our nation's capital, you attack the very being of our way of life. And this FBI and this Department of Justice stand here to tell you that we will always refute it and combat it.
In other J6 news, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg reversed his previous ruling and ordered 2 January 6 defendants pardoned by Trump to be refunded in full for payments and fines incurred as part of their earlier cases. Daily Wire reporter Zach Jewell reports.
Cynthia Ballinger and her husband, Christopher Price, were convicted under Biden on misdemeanor charges in connection with the Capitol riot. They were forced to pay hundreds of dollars in restitution and assessment fees, but now they're getting a refund. Boasberg said in a memo on Wednesday, quote, having viewed the question afresh, the court now agrees with the defendants that they deserve to get their money back.
The presidents of Rwanda and the Congo met in Washington today to sign a peace agreement at the newly renamed Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace. Daily Wire senior editor Cabot Phillips has the details.
The latest conflict between Rwanda and the DRC began in 2022 and has seen over 7,000 deaths and the displacement of over 600,000 civilians. The new agreement, dubbed the Washington Accords, was facilitated by the U.S. and looks to achieve a lasting peace in the region. But the landmark deal has been overshadowed in the legacy media, which has instead focused more on the renaming of the institute. Previously simply known as the U.S. Institute of Peace, the State Department recently moved to name it after President Trump, who's negotiated the end of 8 separate conflicts in his second term.
Admiral Frank Bradley told lawmakers on Thursday that War Secretary Pete Hegseth never gave a kill-them-all order and that a second strike on a damaged drug boat with survivors was warranted. Pentagon officials told the Wall Street Journal that Bradley ordered the second strike after he concluded that the survivors were attempting to finish the drug run. GOP Senator Tom Cotton defended Bradley's decision after the briefing.
Would you have taken the same shot if you were in that position?
If I was Admiral Bradley and I'd been delegated that authority, absolutely. And I'd do it again.
Meanwhile, the Defense Department Inspector General says Secretary Hegseth likely violated Pentagon regulations, but not the law, when he shared details about an attack on Houthi terrorists in Yemen. Daily Wire senior editor Virginia Kruta reports.
The Inspector General's report, delivered to Congress on Tuesday, states that the War Secretary can declassify any War Department information he chooses. That means that although regulation states that Hegseth should not have shared sensitive information via signal, his actions may not rise to the level of a violation of law. According to the report, Hegseth received classified information from a message labeled Secret No Foreign about the planned attack on Houthi terrorists from the U.S. Central Command commander. He then sent some of that information, albeit without the classified designation, via the signal chat. Hegseth has explained that he made the command decision to share that information in the moment with the group in question.
This episode is sponsored by the University of Austin, Texas. You know college is broken. Activist professors, seminars that feel like struggle sessions, $80,000 a year to hear Hamas chants on the quad while being told America is evil in class. So what's the alternative? It's called the University of Austin, or UATX. At UATX, students are in small seminars taught by great professors. They read the great books of Western civilization to learn from them, not tear them down. They build actual companies on campus with mentorship from a vast network of top entrepreneurs and investors. You can be openly Christian or Jewish without apology. And when you walk into the main atrium, there's a giant American flag. UATX admits students based purely on test scores, so the application takes just 5 minutes. Oh, and another thing, tuition is completely free, forever. It's funded by American patriots who want to create the Navy SEALs of the mind, not another generation of credentialed activists. To apply to the University of Austin, visit uaustin.org. That's UAUSTIN.org.
In what's being seen as a slap to Zohran Mamdani, New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced an anti-BDS executive order Wednesday that bars the city from making business or pension investment decisions that discriminate against Israel. Daily Wire reporter Brecca Stoll has more on the story.
As the New York Post notes, the anti-BDS order now puts Mamdani on the spot to decide whether to support or rescind the order when he gets into office. Mamdani has openly supported the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, which singles out Israel and companies and entities connected to it for exclusion. But Adams says the city under his leadership has a far different view, saying, quote, "This administration recognizes the benefit of maintaining a strong relationship between the city of New York and the state of Israel." Another order Adams signed increases police protections for synagogues and other religious institutions against harassment.
Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in India for a 2-day visit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Modi greeted Putin warmly with a hug on the airport tarmac. He also posted a selfie of the pair on X, calling Putin "my friend." The meeting comes on the heels of the European Commission's pledge to stop buying Russian oil and President Trump's pressure on India to do the same. Putin and Modi are expected to sign multiple deals during the visit, which may include both energy and military equipment as a continuation of their long-standing alliance. Erica Kirk has agreed to a primetime town hall with CBS News. It comes 3 months after the assassination of her husband, conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Daily Wire assistant editor Andy Valdez reports.
The event will be moderated by CBS editor-in-chief Barry Weiss and will feature questions from young evangelicals, religious leaders, and voices across the political spectrum. Erica is expected to speak openly about grief, forgiveness, and the country's deepening political divide. Weiss says she hopes the conversation will elevate the national discussion that followed the assassination, which shocked Americans this past September. The special will be broadcast on Saturday, December 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern.
After an apartment complex fire killed nearly 160 people in Hong Kong, China responded by moving to suppress public questioning. As residents demand answers, police have arrested a university student distributing flyers demanding answers and shut down a planned news conference by lawyers and social workers. Analysts say Beijing often acts swiftly to squash dissent this way, citing past flashpoints such as Tiananmen Square. With civil rights and free expression increasingly constrained, many in Hong Kong see little chance for transparency or accountability. A new study by the American Academy of Pediatrics found that children given smartphones before the age of 12 are at greater risk of developing future issues, including depression, obesity, poor sleep, and more. Daily Wire culture reporter Megan Basham explains.
The research team found that 12-year-olds who had a cell phone had a 1.3 times higher risk of depression, a 1.4 times higher risk of obesity, and a 1.6 times higher risk of insufficient sleep as compared to their peers who did not have phones. Lead study author Dr. Rand Barzilay told ABC that his motivations for conducting the study were both personal and professional. I have a 9-year-old who wants a phone, and I think whether to get them a smartphone is a question that's relevant for every parent of a kid going into adolescence, even before adolescence, he told the outlet. He said after conducting the study that it's a clear decision. His son is not getting a phone anytime soon.
Democrat Governor Josh Shapiro went scorched earth on failed presidential candidate Kamala Harris this week when he heard, seemingly for the first time, what she wrote about him in her memoir. Here's Daily Wire senior editor Joel Needler.
Harris claims in 107 days that Shapiro was overbearing and suggests he wanted to be co-president if they won the election. She said he had, quote, mused that he would want to be in the room for every decision. During an interview with The Atlantic, Shapiro reacted to the comments, which he seemingly heard for the first time, saying, quote, I did ask a bunch of questions. Wouldn't you ask questions if someone was talking to you about forming a partnership and working together? Shapiro was also told that Harris wrote that the governor asked her residence manager specific questions about the VP residence, and that's when Shapiro really went off. He said, quote, that's complete and utter BS. And he called her accounts just blatant lies. Shapiro also accused Harris of trying to, quote, cover her ass and wanting to sell books.
The doctor who gave Friends star Matthew Perry ketamine in the weeks before his death has been sentenced to 30 months in federal prison. Daily Wire entertainment reporter Amanda Harding has more.
Court papers show that former physician Salvador Plasencia messaged another doctor on the day he met Perry about how much to charge him for the drug. "I wonder how much this moron will pay," Plasencia wrote. "Let's find out." Dr. P, as he's known, then drove to the actor's home and injected him with the drug, leaving more of it with Perry's assistant. He gave Perry the drug multiple times over the next few weeks, before Perry died in his hot tub on October 28, 2023. An autopsy cited drowning, coronary artery disease, and the effects of an opioid addiction treatment drug. Dr. P pleaded guilty this summer to 4 counts of distribution of ketamine and gave up his state medical license a few months later.
And the nation's capital is about to dial up its Christmas spirit. The President and First Lady will attend the 103rd National Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony on the Ellipse. That's the green space just south of the White House. Singers Gabby Barrett and Matthew West will co-host the ceremony, and it'll feature several performances, including Alana Springsteen, John Party, and the Beach Boys. The festivities start at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight and will be available to live stream. All right, those are your drive home updates. To learn more about these stories, go to dailywire.com. And in case you missed it earlier today, we covered some major stories, including NATO upping its support for Ukraine as the U.S. pursues peace talks, the Trump administration freezing asylum and visa reviews from 19 countries, and a watchdog exposing billions of taxpayer dollars in fraud under Biden-era DEI initiatives. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another full edition of Morning Wire.